Always make sure that your back is straight. Shoulders back, chest out. Chin tucked into the chest. Always make sure your back is straight on forward folds or when you're just sitting still in your yoga pose. Just do a nice butterfly pose to warm the hips up, rock back and forth. Do whatever little movements feel good. Don't go too extreme, but just whatever feels good. This kind of yoga is meant for therapy, so I want you to go slow. Be very mindful of all the sensations that you're getting from each movement. But going slow is the key. The slower you go, the slower you twist, the slower you rummage about, the more benefit your muscles are going to get from what you're doing. The slower you go, the more your muscles have a chance to become activated and get warmed up. So do half fish pose next. Take left or the right leg and place it over the left or the right knee. Crossed on the ground. Lift the opposite hand up and do a nice slow twist. I'm only going to hold it for a short amount of time. You may hold it for as long as you want. I'm just demonstrating what I want, what kind of a flow I would like you to do. Always make sure that your back is straight in this twist. You do not want to twist while you are not up straight. That will create more tension and more dis-ease in your back. If you're already moving throughout day to day with a crooked back or with pain, then that usually indicates that something's wrong with your foundation. You need to go back to your posture and how you are approaching your movement throughout your day. How you bend over. Do you stick your butt out when you bend over, or do you just slouch down with your back? When you bend down to pick things up, are you bending down and doing a squat with your knees so that your whole body gets the force? Or are you just bending down with a slouched back so that your back is really doing most of the lifting? See, when you lift something up, the muscle that you're activating and engaging is the muscle that you are using. So by bending over in a slouch position like this, the middle of your back is doing most of the work. If I squat and I pick something up, what's doing most of the work? My calves, my thighs, my biceps might be doing a bit, but my back is straight the whole time. My back is straight. I don't even feel my back. Another excellent pose to do is lying tree pose. You can take your leg and very gently and slowly put it on top of your foot. That often makes my hips crack and provides relief for me. You may not have the same issues, but if doing this provides you with some relief or you feel a pleasant stretch, very slowly do it. But always start lying tree pose with your leg on the ground. Don't ever start it with your leg on top of the other one. That's too extreme of a movement. You want to gradually warm your body up and get it used to the movements you're introducing it to. Another good one is bridge pose. You want to make sure that your knees are hip width apart. If they're any farther apart, you will feel a bit of strain in your knees. To make sure that your knees are comfortable in this position. You'll feel the relief from your back. You really feel it in your lower back, your hips. You can kind of sway back and forth very gently. The other pose is goddess pose. Very hard to it's very hard to stand up in this pose, but once you get your footing, you may want to start with your feet closer together. And what you want to do is you want to get your feet as far away from each other as possible, your toes. You want your toes to be pointing directly out to either direction. It's very difficult, but the more you flex your feet out, the more you're going to feel it on your inner thighs and in your hips. Once you have your footing, take your hands like so. You can pulse in this pose, move up and down. You can take your arms, bring them out to the side, stare off to the right or left, bring yourself back in the opposite direction. Take your hands above your head, do a nice little side twist. Always coming back to the original shape the posture was in before you do the other side.
Looking for her ball. Oh! You guys are kind of right in the way, so.
I always like to end my hip sequences with this. Forward fold. You can bring your hands over to